GSL versus the world.
Welcome back to the GSL versus the World Finals. Tasis and Artosis here this time. So far, it's looking like we expected, but there's still room for a comeback. Elazer still got to hold out hope.
Yeah. I mean, those first two games were pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah.
Serral really did bash through, but you know what? Sometimes it turns around. Sometimes you have a couple bad games to open up a finals, and then suddenly the other player turns it on.
That's right. Well, look, I mean, Elazer not looking particularly confident here, but he's already got a little bit of a read on Serral's ZVZ.
Sure.
He's going to have to come in here with something very strong. Now, Elazer is cool as a cucumber in moments like this, and I think he's interested in getting a quick and speedy victory here. We're going to go to the map, Kings Cove. What can we expect here, Artosis?
Well, it's definitely a map where it can be a bigger macro game. It's going to be harder to actually break each other. So I'm hoping for a long game, to be honest. Like, I mean, the first two were so fast. If we just keep doing it like that, we're going to be out of here before the sun goes down.
It's true, man. So, our game is now loading up. Elazer from Poland, Serral from Finland. Serral, the former GSL vs. the World Champion, here to defend his title. The finals continues on. Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the upper left, from Poland, our Zerg player, he is
Ego Esports, Elazer.
And in the bottom right, in the red, the defending champion from Finland, he is
Ents Esports, Serral.
Let's see what this monster has up his sleeves this time.
So good to have all you guys down here at the finals.
Yeah.
We get people coming in from all over the world.
It's been such a great crowd, really. Everyone's so friendly. It's having a great time here together.
So, as we saw earlier, Serral, very quick games, taking a commanding lead here. The problem with going against Serral and ZVZ is I don't think there's any real holes in Serral's play style.
Yeah.
He's really sort of maxed out all of his stats in every matchup. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to pull one over on him, and he's so good mechanically. I think that's the problem. Like, to out macro him, it's like a rhetorical question, or one of those riddles that has no answer.
This is a good question.
Is Serral human?
By the way, Gary's in the audience.
Of course,
Serral
GSL vs.
support.
World Finals.
I got to say, this is just it's so tough here for Elazer to come back and stabilize, in a situation like this. It was so unexpected that he got this far. I wonder what's going on in his head right now.
Well, I think he's probably calm still. Yeah, you're down 2-0, but this is a best of 7. You still have shots, even though everyone is kind of looking at this and say, well, this is going to be one-sided. Serral, he's unbeatable. Elazer is good enough that he can force something out of this, I think.
Here comes Elazer now, taking his third base. It's going to be mirrored on the other side of the map here with Serral as well.
Yeah, very mirrored builds right now. Still waiting for the moment where one of them turns on the aggression. At some point, one of them is going to make a bunch of Zerglings or something like that, and that's where we get the action going.
Nothing requires you to make Zerglings right away unless you're about to be attacked by your opponent. So, you basically have two forks in the road here. You can keep making drones and try to monitor them until you get to that correct drone amount and then, play a pretty extreme macro game. Or you can halt making drones and then go lings, and that's exactly what we're seeing here now with Serral. Serral has stopped that. He's getting 16 lings. getting Ling's speed, and he is about to barrel towards Elazer. Now, Elazer needs to have the right amount of defenses. Baneling's Nest is going to finish. That is a defensive Baneling's Nest. Let's see if he can hold on.
Yeah, he's starting to make some of his own Lings and Banes right now. Serral is going across the map, and Overlord sees these Lings incoming, though. And Elazer even sneaks in one of his own Lings to kind of check out what's going on. This just confirms what he already knows.
Okay, now if Serral overextends and doesn't do any damage, it's going to be problematic. The problem, though, is that Serral is so strong in moments like this. He's going to come in here. It's key that the Banelings connect with the opposing player's Lings. There's also the option to have two Banelings connect on top of a lot of their Banelings to take them out and make them inefficient. And so we see the back and forth, the ebb and the flow. Serral beginning to come in here as the Banelings are zoning back Elazer's defensive Lings.
Really good micro so far by Elazer, I have to say. He's doing a great job. And it looks like, okay, all the Banelings are gone right now for Serral, so Elazer holds on nicely.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we needed to see here from Elazer. Just watching the production tab, we see both players are going back to droning up, but right now, Elazer, I don't know how this happened, but Elazer actually a little bit behind the drones here. Just by holding that attack off, I was halfway through the sense, and I looked down and went, oh, okay.
That's a bit
weird.
Peculiar, isn't it?
But yeah, generally, in theory, the guy that does the aggression, if he gets no kills on workers or doesn't kill a hatchery, then the defender usually has the advantage. So now Elazer is now going to throw down his Roach Warren and continue to tech up. Over on Serral's side of the map, getting +1 missile attacks.
Yeah, definitely getting ready for that next stage here as far as tech goes. You know, the Ling Bane battles, you might see little pokes like that, but it's not likely to see much more on King's Cove after that initial wave.
And so this map tends to incentivize players to macro up. Actually, does that? Okay, that's actually a really good scout.
Yeah.
Sees the layer, just finishes.
He actually did not see it finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He saw it morphing.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's not entirely sure. It could be lined up with his, but instead it finished just a second after. So that's actually probably best case scenario for Elazer, considering that it did get scouted, I guess.
Now, we have the missile upgrades coming here from Elazer, but it's going to be later than Serral. So there's going to be a small window of time where if it becomes Roach versus Roach, Serral will have an advantage.
Well, right now he's getting his lair and Roach Horn. He's actually getting Overlord speed, so that's going to help him to scout quite a bit coming up. It's going to be hard for Elazer to pull the wool over his eyes, but I don't feel like he's trying to. You know, he's just making roaches right now, and we're going to see him move out and try to hit an attack when he hits the amount he wants.
Yeah. We also have, with the fourth base being taken here, this may tempt Elazer into some real aggression. Right now, there's a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of map control here. But we see eight roaches being made, and a Nidus network starts.
Yeah, Elazer is the one that's going to be aggressive in this game. A Spire going up for Serral, but that is not something that we're likely to see used this game. All right, let's see. He's poking a little bit with the Lings. He sees some roaches moving out as well.
Now look at this. Elazer is trying to demonstrate that he might push out into the front. We don't know where this Nidus is going to be. Let's see if we can actually get a read on this. It's actually going to be a reinforcing Nidus. I thought it was actually going to be hidden somewhere to pop out in the main.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, he has a gigantic army right now. A ton of roaches moving across the map. He's about to have his +1. He's about to have roach speed. That's more than we can say for Serral.
Okay, and the Nidus network starts right underneath that Overlord of Serral as he's going to try to push in here now. The Lings need to avoid getting into contact with those Banelings. Good targeting there with the lasers, roaches.
Yeah, very good attack board. Some Banelings moving up. They're going to connect the roaches as best they can. Not the most efficient move, but they do hit. Now, Elazer has that Nidus going up. He has a lot of roaches coming in to reinforce as well. And look at this. Elazer pushing through. He's up 20 army supply.
Elazer Shame Speed doing it, crushing through these roaches from Serral. And remember, with the presence of that Nidus network and a second one being made, Elazer can continue to reinforce this attack.
Oh, absolutely. Tons of damage being done. And GG is called. Elazer puts his name on the board.
It's happening. Elazer takes one game up of Serral. Can he keep the momentum going?
Yes. Yes, he can. Elazer just put out a very nice game. You know, that was a sharp attack right there. He was down drones for a bit. He just stopped making them, went into the units, nailed the Nidus, and just got out there. Serral was playing a kind of more greedy macro game after that early Ling aggression. So overall, you look at that game, Elazer played just amazingly.
Yeah, I mean, Elazer, upset after upset after upset, and here he is against Serral, regarded as the best player in the world. Can he keep doing it, though? I mean, best of 7, man, that's a lot of games to win. You know, he has to win 3 more. It's hard to imagine. But we've seen miracles already happen here in GSL versus the World.
Absolutely. Acropolis going to be our next map. A very interesting map for ZVZ. Very large. Likely to see a longer game.
And that game has now loaded up. Game 4, Elazer versus Serral, starts now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the bottom right, in the blue, our Polish player, he is.
Ego Esports, Elazer.
Nice win from him in that last game, giving him hope.
And in the upper left, in the red, the defending champion from Finland.
ENCE Esports, Serral.
Many Serral fans here in the audience. It's amazing to watch such a phenom at work.
It's funny because, you know, last year, and the same is true here in our studio now, the number of Finnish expatriates who are in Korea, they come down. It makes you really realize, oh, I guess there are a decent number of people from Finland in Korea. And, of course, why would you not come down here if Serral's playing?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I imagine we probably have some players, or some people from Poland here in the audience as well. I mean, it was really exciting news to see that Elazer actually manages to get in the finals. And here he is. He's taken 1 game off of the god himself, Serral.
Yeah. It's, you know, I want to say they have a rivalry. We don't really see that, though, right? It's a little bit one-sided. This is a mountain, really, for Elazer to climb. You know, like you said, there needs to be a change. Someone needs to be able to take out a Serral. And so far, really, Raynor's been the only one to be able to stand up to him.
Yeah. Again, these European Zergs, so strong. That region really has mapped out so perfectly how this race can be played, how it can be exploited.
Well, they're definitely ahead of the Korean Zergs.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny because
really
there was debate for a while, and you and me would actually joke about it because we think, why would the Europeans actually think that they might be better than the Koreans at Zerg? Like, that's just so silly.
They thought that way before they actually were.
Yeah. We're talking like 4 or 5 years ago. But I will tell you what, we're in a Korean tournament here in Seoul, and it is a Poland versus Finland match with 2 Zergs. So I guess times have changed.
Well, you know, this is kind of the all-star match. It's a little bit of a precursor to BlizzCon because the player pool will probably be a little bit similar. And sure, yeah, last year Serral won GSL vs. the World and then won BlizzCon. Now, will that happen again this year? I don't think that, you know, he's definitely the best player at the moment, but you can't be counting out those Koreans either. Not even the Zergs.
Yep. So we have the Banelings coming down. Just like we said in the previous game, we're basically watching the production tab to see if and when either of the 2 players are going to make drones. Just to kind of go big picture here. If you're making lings, you're not making drones. If you're making drones, you're not making lings, right? And so some players are very tempted to get up a lot of workers and try to have a really robust macro game. But you can always simply stop making workers, make a lot of lings, get speed, and try to barrel out an attack. And if that other player has made too many drones, he is going to get steamrolled. But of course, aggression like that does operate like a double-edged sword. If you get too aggressive and you do no damage, generally the defender has a huge advantage and is able to make a series of good decisions on how to take the game to a win.
Well, this game, neither side is really getting aggressive. A very medium-ish amount of lings made by Serral. Elazer sees that, makes a slightly more medium-ish amount of lings. But really on either side, you see 8 lings made, 10 lings made. And that's not really for attacking, you know. That's kind of a safety amount.
And despite a slight worker difference, these guys are basically doing the same builds.
Yeah, very
This is all mirrored. Now we have the missile upgrades coming. There's also a layer being made here for Serral. Let's wait and see if Elazer gets a layer of his own.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he hasn't as of yet. Adding a couple gases, it makes me think that Elazer might go for a massive roach attack pre-layer. Yeah, no, there goes the layer. Okay. was wondering about that, but not that far off, really, from what we see on the side of Serral.
Okay, nice block there, denying any kind of scouting. You always see these Lings one by one try to dart into the main, because if you can get a read on what the opposing player is doing, it's very helpful. There's a lot of different ways you can play ZVZ.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so just trying to get an idea of what they're doing, it can give you the opportunity to do some counterplay. Hard to stop Lings too, man. They're very slippery units. They're super fast, and basically only the queen's going to be able to hit them. So you got to really be on top of clogging your engines like we see over here.
Yeah, that's a good wall by Serral. Really trying to deny scouting as much as he can. But both sides are getting Overlord speed, so definitely going to get some intel going very shortly here. Okay, the second evolution chamber coming up for Serral.
Okay.
And a drop Overlord as well.
Yeah. So the drop Overlord's going to try to shuttle some Zerglings into a position where obviously the other player has to try to defend, and then you might see a larger attack over in a more exposed area because the defender's army is going to have to relocate to try to stop the drop.
Interesting seeing Elazer make a couple drop Overlords right here near his main base. Maybe going to send those out now. See if he can get some sort of damage done. Putting Banelings inside is Serral.
Okay, nice scouting Overseer here. Spot that.
It feels like they're mirroring each other so closely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the second Evo's coming up very close. The same types of upgrades going. Drop Overlords on both sides. See if anyone can get that damage done with those drop Overlords, though.
Yeah.
This one's a fake.
Yeah, this is the funny thing, right? You see the drop Overlord. Now, obviously, you're going to assume there's a drop, but it's actually empty. So this is some very mind game stuff we're seeing here. So right now, excuse me, Serral is under the impression that there is a pin set up here, that if Serral leaves his base, there will be drops coming in, when in fact that one at the north is empty. But we're seeing over here a similar play by Serral, but not with an empty Overlord. And instead, this is going to be a Banelings drop. Will this connect?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roach drop over here.
Yeah, Roach is coming out, but oh my God, the Banelings actually hit there. 7 drones going down on that side.
Yeah, nice play there by Elazer.
I think that this is actually a Baneling in the Overlord. Yes, it is. A beautiful move
that
right
was
there.
so good.
Yeah, he waited for the
He's
drill
so
back.
smart.
Beautiful
Okay,
move.
wait, we got to go back and explain what just happened there. So he drops the Roaches out. Remember I said I thought it was a Baneling drop, and then the Roaches came in. I said, oh, the Roach drop.
Yes.
So then the drones were getting chased away. As the drones turned back because the defending army was there, he drops the Baneling. Like, 400 IQ play.
Yes. And the thing is, you might look at it and say, oh, isn't that suspicious? Only 3 Roaches when 4 can fit. 3 Roaches, 1 shot a drone. So it's not that suspicious.
Yeah. Very good point, Artosis. So, I mean, that's like such advanced play to have that Baneling pocketed there. Now, Elazer has branched out on the map. He's hugging the far right side here, whereas Serral is actually staying more in his quadrant, if you will. Is he pulling all the queens? Are we about to see a timing here?
Oh, I'd be surprised if he starts walking queens across.
I know, I actually I missaw that. I thought for a second, oh God, that's really weird. But maybe he does something I don't. Queen was actually being transferred. Excuse me. But we're now getting into a very, very intense macro race. Both players are maxing out. ZVZ, when you get to this phase of the game, is very much so about positioning. And we see Elazer already trying to get into a good spot, and he actually might be able to cut Serral off at the pass. I don't know if Serral should advance much further, but hold on. Well, Serral is actually getting a much better arc, as I said that, and is now chasing Elazer down onto the low ground.
Not just that, but he actually gooped the +2 attack upgrade of Elazer, so he has that 1 upgrade advantage for a considerable amount of time here. A nice mini engagement there from Serral, really pushing every edge that's possible.
Okay, Elazer's cut Serral off on the pass. Serral instead tries to head north and loop around. This is a soft spot here, this one hatchery. And also Elazer's branched off a small army for a counterattack. We don't have it on. Okay, there it is. That's actually not really a small army. That's actually a pretty impressively large army. So we got to see what that can actually do to Serral. I don't know if his reinforcements will be big enough to actually catch this. Meanwhile, Elazer has actually forced Serral to back up.
A very reasonable size on this. He's going to get in, start picking off some queens, maybe some drones as well. Of course, Serral's sent enough to deal with it technically, but if this is microed well, it can still get some serious damage done.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of micro on multiple fronts, taking out drones all over the place. And this has actually put Serral on the defense.
Yeah, I feel like this is a great move from Elazer. Now, both of them are getting their hives and continuing forward. A lurker den on the way for Elazer.
By the way, Elazer carefully stepping forward, trying to gain ground. Has Serral spread himself too thin? There's a unguarded base at the top of the map, but Serral is also sending these burrowed roaches out here to do some counter-attacking of his own.
Yeah, it seems like Elazer did not even notice that. He does force a cancel on this base, but he's getting caught with a lot of units. Serral doing a great job right now. Those burrow movement roaches as well as this army dealing damage.
Beautifully done here. More Crowset Biles are getting chucked out. As Elazer is retreating to his upper right base, but I don't know if there's actually enough to defend here. We see some spine crawlers thrown down. This base is not so much being mined as it is claimed as a territory. He's not able to really get many workers over there because he had to make those spine crawlers.
It is a good point. He definitely wants to get the economy running as Serral has 4 bases, 5th on the way. 5th coming up for Elazer to the north even of that base. But you know what? These burrow movement roaches, I feel like Serral's doing a good job pushing those around.
Okay. We're getting to an insane late game ZVZ here. Both players are on 5 bases.
Yeah, that means we should be getting into some lurker play and then, of course, Viper play.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of Viper play. Now, how is Elazer going to measure up to Serral at that point? It really feels like Serral's the ultimate late game serve.
He really is. But Elazer says he can take it on his own here. I mean, he did opt to bring this game into a supreme late game. You know, Elazer is always welcome to do Ling all-ins. I mean,
yeah. I guess that's a good way to put it.
That's a good way to think of it.
I think occasionally you got to not do that as well.
You know, it's his game to lose.
Yeah.
Depends on what he wants to do. So the northernmost base cannot be defended. Serral is a master at balancing out the Roach, Ravager, Hydras into positions. So he wins that fight at the top. But Elazer is going to try to chase this army away down here. Now, Elazer has gone for Lurker Tech.
And Serral is getting up into Lurker Tech as well, but not quite as quickly, which means Adaptive Talon's going to be here pretty quickly for Elazer also. Of course, as you get these Lurkers out, the Roach armies have a lot harder time, but you're less mobile with these armies.
Okay, Elazer's going to pounce now. I think we're going to have an even exchange here as that upper base was taken out, and now an eye for an eye here as Elazer takes out that northernmost base. And nice move here by Serral to try to come in and take this out. I'm sorry, he's actually not going to take that base out. He's actually wedged himself in between this.
Yeah.
And I think this might have been a tactical error here by Elazer, because if Serral can get up there and save that hatchery, it would be huge.
Yeah, it's like, it seems like right now Elazer's not going to get anything instead of getting a definite kill.
Yeah. I think that Elazer got into a good position and then got a little bit greedy.
I think you're right, yeah.
Because he thought, it was almost like a win more tactical move, you know, but all you had to do was win. You don't need to win more.
Yeah.
So he tried to get in there and actually blockade the army from coming in and defending it, but he should have just targeted down the hatchery and then retreated.
Right now, he's kind of chasing around the few units left on his side of the map, re-expanding. He's re-droned up as well, going slightly above what Serral has. Both sides going into that Lurker Tech. Of course, we don't see Vipers yet here for Elazer, and that's definitely a unit you need to see. Okay, he just popped 5.
Well, we have Elazer coming up now. Again, a good interception of those burrowed roaches. Really nice play. It's so much about ZVZ, it involves preemption. If you can just get ahead of them, if you can just stop it before it starts, that's how you're going to win.
We don't see any more lurkers being made as of yet here for Elazer. And again, normally this is like a Viper lurker type of war, right? The Vipers really counter the lurkers well, and the lurkers kind of counter everything else. So, interesting to see that. Maybe he's going for a more mobile-based army. But I believe he even has adaptive talents, so I really do want to see some more lurkers.
Okay, small roach drop. It might not look like a lot, but you know, if you do these little drops here and there, the army comes back to defend. You're looking for an opening here as Serral. You're looking, obviously, to kill drones, but more importantly, to have the opposing army reposition to where you can then battering ram your army through into like another base, like we're seeing. We haven't shown it, but yeah, up here.
Yeah, let's see how this one goes, right? That is a lot of Vipers being added in by Serral. 8 Vipers against just 5 on his opponent's side. Okay, the lurkers are ready for Elazer, pushing forward with him. Oh, some beautiful yanks over there, picking off a couple of the lurkers with the blinding cloud, slowing him down.
Okay, We have the Vipers being taken out, but Elazer's army is beginning to thin out. A little bit too squishy there. He will control that high ground ramp, but again, it's such yin and yang here of positioning on the map. I mean, Elazer controls that area down here, but a neglected hatchery means this is going to be taken out. Oh my God! Oops, that was not an easy decision to make. I think that might have been a bad decision there.
I think it might have even been a mistake. Maybe he thought it was about to die.
Yeah, I think he had miscalculated what the kill might actually be.
It's kind of a rare thing to see, but it can happen. Another roach drop into the main base. Serral's multitasking. Awesome, of course, as we see here.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why he's so scary.
Okay, count as lucky stars that he managed to save that. And again, Serral tries to sneak in there, completely denies that. Elazer looking so good in this game.
Yeah, he's playing really, really nicely, but I am afraid about these battles that we're seeing, right? There's just the Viper control of Serral is so strong.
Okay. Instead, Serral decides to move more towards the center of the map. He's looking for an opening. Again, the way that Elazer's expanded, I think it would be a bit of a surprise for him to have this attack come in from this angle. This is like a very confusing way to come in, and it might catch Elazer off guard.
All right, he's got his lurkers burrowed. A little bit hard to press in there. I like how he's yanking anything he can get at this point. Look at that, just picks off a random Viper right there. We saw him pulling an Overseer before as well. Oh my gosh, a lurker.
Oh man. Well, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
Take out all those drones. I don't know if Elazer's, his hands might be too full to actually deal with that for a little bit. And that's 16 drone kills, guys. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's painful each and every time. Now, Elazer had more drones than Serral for a bit there. He actually has a bigger bank as well, which we should point out. But overall, the army power of Serral is a bit higher. More Hydras he's had for most of the time, as well as Lurkers, as well as Vipers.
Ouch. Ooh. Big bile connects there.
Yeah, really.
But again,
nice
sometimes it's not about the big battles. I mean, I think if we're going big picture, some of these lurker harasses are really beginning to slow down Elazer. He needs to get his worker count up. It's 62 drones for Serral, 50 for Elazer.
Yeah, it might be time to set up maybe just a little bit more static D so that these tiny roach attacks don't do as much, right? How many times have we seen 3 roaches somewhere killing a bunch of drones?
Right.
We saw that single lurker in there just destroying his mineral line. I definitely do think it's worthwhile to throw up a spine or 2 at each base.
Okay, I think... Oh, he's not going to go and finish off that hatchery. He's instead trying to look for a good angle to take this fight, but Elazer, like 360-degree attack here, completely surrounding this and crushing through Elazer, killing it right now.
Wow, that was a beautiful tactic by Elazer, just surrounding him absolutely everywhere. Now he pushes him back. I don't think that this is breakable, but maybe he can get a little bit of damage done.
He's going to go for it. We see the corrosive vials being chucked down further, some blinding clouds forcing Elazer to relocate, but I don't think Elazer's done quite yet.
More and more lurkers being made. The Vipers so deadly so far from Serral.
If he could actually break that position, he would be able to then kill the northern base too, but it looks like Elazer is being very cautious here.
He's made a lot of lurkers. Oh, another great abduct. Each abduct you see, that's just money into Serral's pocket. It's very interesting to watch how Elazer, it feels like he's doing a lot of things that are less cost efficient, but he consistently has a bigger bank.
Yes, he does. That's a very good point. He's actually sitting on quite a bit of money. Yeah,
Serral's been keeping a very high-quality army the entire time, though, and he's made more of the static we've been talking about.
Okay. The Lurkers come forward, the Hydras come in here, and I don't see anything defending here. I think Elazer's army setup might be a little bit lopsided where he didn't really have anything to defend. Now, as Elazer came back to defend that, he also incidentally stumbled upon a hatchery that was being taken and took that out. But mission accomplished here for Serral. Serral maneuvers out. No, actually he doesn't. I think he's going to be pinned in this corner. But if I were Serral, I would take that over letting Elazer have a hatchery there.
Sure. I mean, if he can trade reasonably well as well. Oh my gosh! Look at all these lurkers being picked off.
Oh my God!
Oh my. The amount of abducts that we just saw there from Serral, just so much value being gained. You can really see the difference in supplies now, too.
Elazer is now moving down here towards the bottom, keeping this expansion of that hatchery is still there.
Somehow, some way.
This is like the butterfly effect here. Had he waited a half a second longer and killed that, or even sacked some roaches to kill it, maybe Elazer would not be there, and maybe we'd be already in Game 5. But Instead, he's got it, and when he has that bottom location, he's going to expand there.
Yeah, you know, that's a good thing for Elazer, making this game a little bit closer for him. But we need more great moves like what we saw with that gigantic flank, that gigantic surround against Serral, because right now, every time he attacks just heads-on, the abducts are destroying him.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're actually doing like a big surround type attack, abducts aren't that good.
Yeah,
your opponent wants to be in there.
It's going to be tricky. You know, whenever you see a player running, that's when running away, I should say. Excuse me. That's when abduct is its strongest. You know, especially with the Hydras there. The Hydras deal so much damage so fast.
Yeah, it's really, really quick.
And Elazer is just not going to give up this location. I just don't see it happening, and I don't see how Serral pushes down here. Now, Serral seems to have more of a positional setup, because if you can check the mini-map here, in the bottom left, both of those two bases are being taken. So, yeah, I think Elazer should absolutely not attack into that.
All right, some more lurker attacks over here at another base. A lot of damage put onto that hatchery.
Can we point out that somehow now Serral has actually gotten control of 2/3 of the map?
I know, right? He's doing all these pushes just slowly but surely coming in from all sides. Now just, hey, why not take every base that I'm in front of?
Right, yeah. Can that hatchery, man, had he gotten that? Oh. Serral seems to have, there's a bit of a blind spot here. With no army to defend, Elazer is now going to move down here towards the bottom. Now, I think Serral can keep that base, but the very bottom one, I'm not so sure. Oh, wait a minute. Does he not know? Okay, he spots it. He was actually going up to that other place, but he sees that there's a freebie here.
Yeah, at least he'll be able to pick that off this time. Good thing he didn't make that move that we saw previously, where he had a free base, then moved up and just kind of lost his army trying to get more. You got to take what you can get sometimes. Okay, so he's maxed out again, by the way, but not a very big gas bank, so we need to see Elazer be as efficient as possible.
Okay, really nice harpooning. That always looks so weird.
Yes, it really does.
Okay, blinding clouds on both sides. I don't know that Elazer can breach this. I mean, this angle is going to be terrible, especially if the lurkers just move up a little bit.
Okay, well, he is rotating around. A couple defensive lurkers there. So, yeah, it doesn't look like he can actually engage into that right now. Need to get some more Vipers up here with some energy. Oh, look at that. Actually comes up and sieges completely. Trying to take out these lurkers. Taking a lot of damage on his army. A flank, though, by Serral. A beautiful move here.
This might be the first major blunder we've seen here. Elazer attacks into this location. He does lose a lot of those key tech units. Both sides are massing up a ton of Hydras. And I stand corrected here.
Yeah.
Elazer actually got this base. I didn't think he was going to take it, but he's doing it.
The reinforcements did wonders for him there. And now suddenly Serral's drone count dropping a little bit. He is at a minor supply block, but still, when you look at it, his army is a bit better.
We're running out of map here, Artosis.
Yeah.
Like, there's no more bases left, right?
There's one that hasn't been taken, and to be fair, a few of these bases we have had very few minerals actually mined.
That's true, yeah. They've been territories more than bases.
Yeah.
Okay, Serral's going to try to come in here. Nice tiny counterattack, you know. Serral does so much with so little. This is a weird predicament for both sides here, guys, because this map is huge, right? But they're both trying to control both the top and the bottom.
Yeah, and that's becoming very, very difficult. You see that Elazer's getting stretched a little bit thin. Serral is just roaming around using abducts left and right, getting all of the expensive units. Look at that. Lurkers just popping up out of the ground.
Okay, nicely done. The Hydras come forward. And, I mean, this base is just not going to be saved, I don't think. What?
Oh,
No.
he's abducting twice on Vipers to kill him at this
Are
point.
we just not going to kill the hatchery? Did you just see that?
He just wants to get out of there. He's killed the lurkers. That's
It's like
enough.
affecting my OCD here. I just look at this. I'm like, you got it. Kill that hatchery, man. That's 2 times now. Okay, so Serral continuing to roam. Now, note the supplies here. Elazer has quite a bit of minerals here, but no gas. So he's at 159 supply. Serral is maxed out and is burning his income beautifully.
Yeah.
And I think for all the jabs and pokes that we've had in this game, Serral seems to be very close to navigating this to a victory.
It really does look that way. His army is just so strong right now. Look at this coming in here. destroying this base in a matter of seconds.
I would need to watch this game several more times to really fully understand where Serral did this right and where Elazer did this wrong. This is actually one of the most technical things I've ever had to cast.
To be honest,
this is such a crazy ZVZ.
It really is. And I got to say, the abducts are really what I'm feeling here for Serral. He has done such a good job just consistently pulling in lurkers and then retreating. You know, he's kept a big group of Hydras, so anything he brings in dies instantly.
Yeah. And oddly, Serral's kind of collapsed in here. But Elazer, is he going to be able to get out? He needs to get more gas.
Yeah, well, he's got a few bases that are secured right now, but he's down about 40 army supply. We see him adding on a few more spores, a few more spines to try to secure these bases for the longer term. But really, the thing that's scary here is that right there. You see the amount of energy on these Vipers when these come in. How do you see
there it
that
is.
Instantly grabs everything that's expensive.
Harpoons the lurker, and this army, I think, could squash this base pretty easily. He's pushing through. I don't think that Elazer can hang on.
No,
Lightning Cloud's going down, making the lurkers completely useless.
He's got his own here now. Let's see. He's abducting a bunch of the Vipers over, but they actually don't die that quickly. There's not many Hydras on the Elazer side.
Not a bad hold here by Elazer, but again, if those supplies are true, eventually Serral should be able to squish this, and that's it. GG. Serral takes game 4.
All right, a nice game, a much longer game, kind of as expected on Acropolis.
Yep.
And this puts Serral on match point. He's up 3-1 right now, and one more map win makes him the 2-time GSL vs. World Champion.
So sick, man. Serral is so godlike. That was a really technical ZBZ, and by the way, Elazer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what are you going to do, man?
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
It's Serral.
He did really well. It's
crazy because Elazer was like doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But like,
he had some really fantastic moments in there.
Man. Well, let's see what happens in Game 5. We're going to go to a short break, and we come back. The GSL vs. the World Finals continues.
We're chasing the sun.